convert to fraction. So we have this decimal that we need to convert it to a fraction. The easiest way to do this is to recall the English name of this decimal. So what is the English name for it? It's 13 hundredths, because it lays under the hundredths place, so it's 13 hundredths. Now, is this reduced? Yes, 13 is a prime number, and 100 is 10 times 10, and then a 2 times 5 and a 2 times 5, in a way that there is not any 13 underneath that will be able to cancel it. Therefore, our answer is simplified. Now, number 16, they're asking us for the same question, but they say 13.6. Now, how do we read this in English name? We say 13 wholes, or 13, so it's just 13 and 6 tenths, so it will be 6 tenths. But wait, 6 tenths, I think that 6 tenths can be reduced. Let's see, that 6 is 2 times 3, and that 10 is 2 times 5. Oh, they have 2 in common. I can simplify that out, and I'm gonna be left with a 3/5. And don't forget about the 13 here. They're asking us to convert these percents to a decimal. Now, to convert this percent to a decimal, well, informally speaking, we need to drop the percent sign, and to drop will mean to divide by 100. So we need to divide 40.3 divided by 100. So you do that by hand. Sorry, divided by 100. Or you use a shortcut that tells you to move this decimal point 2 spaces to the left. So your answer will be 0.403. You have to finish this long division by hand if you don't want to use a shortcut. For number 18, they're asking us for the same question. They say 560% gotta convert it to a decimal. So we must drop. So what does the drop stand for? Division, right? Drop, divide, D and D, divide, right? Divide by 100. So once again, you can do this by hand. 560 divided by 100. So you finish that division by hand, or you use a shortcut. So move the decimal place, which is here, because it's 560 the whole number. So here's the decimal point, and move it 2 spaces, 1, 2, and our answer will be 5.6 or 5.60. Alright, but 5.60 is just 5.6, so that's your final answer. Which of these numbers are equal to 0.075 or 75 10 100 thousand, 75 thousandths? Oh look, 75 thousandths. We just say that. Oh bingo, here's 75,000, so that number equals to that. Now what about 75? Well, this is 7500, so it's not going to be that number. Now 7.5%. We must drop the percent sign and see if they are equal to. Now, to drop the percent sign means that we need to divide. We need to divide 7.5 divided by 100. Now you finish that by hand, or we use the shortcut. Move the decimal places 2 space. So since I have 1 space left here, I'm going to fill it with 0. So our answer is going to be 0.075. Oh, that matches. Oh, therefore this is another number that equals to that. Letter C equals to that. Now what else? 7.5. Because this is 0 holes and this is 7 holes, so this is not not equal to that 75,000. And this has 0 holes and 0 hole. Okay, so far so good. Now let's look at the tens place. 0 and this is 7. No, this is not equal to either. So our only answer are B and C. Number 20. List from the smallest to the largest number. So let's compare these two numbers, because they are decimals, so they are easy to compare. Or maybe we want to put this 47 as well as a decimal place, so we can compare all three. So let's compare these 47 first. Let's convert. So 47, how can I convert that into a decimal? I must divide. So 4 divided by 7. So the decimal point is here, the decimal point goes here, 7 goes into 4 0 times, and I have as many zeros as I want here. So 40 goes, 7 goes into 40. How many times does that go? 6 times or 7 times? 7 times 7 is 49. No, that's too much. 7 times 6 is 42. No, so I think 5 times. 5 times 7 is 35, and we're left with 5. Bring this guy down, it's gonna be a 7. 7 times that is going to be 49, and then that's 1, and I have a 10. Right, so because I have more zeros, as many as I want, so that's like 1, and then I will keep going on and forever, like appears that this is not gonna go evenly eventually. But to compare these 3 decimal, well, I need at least I need to have 3 decimal places here, because thinking about that, this is 0.7, it has many zeros here as well, or this 47 is going to be like 0.571. so we can compare these numbers here. Who's the smallest one? They all have 0 holes, so far so good. Let's check at the tens place. 5, 7, and 5. We have spot the largest one, so the largest one is B. So the largest one, since we need to list from the smallest to the largest, I'll put the largest here. It's 0.7. Now I only need to compare who's small between these two numbers here. Now let's see. So the 5 and the 5 are the same. Now 7 and 1, who's bigger? 7, and C is gonna be the smallest one, so C goes here, 0.55, and then A is the 0.571, but I need to put the fraction 4/7. That's our final answer. Now we need to perform the following operation and answer with a decimal. In this case we have an addition, and to add decimal I must align the decimal place. So let's add this vertically. So I have 0.0123, and I need to align this decimal place sort of in a way here. I try to align that there. So let's try this other one. So it's going to be 0.9, and in the whole numbers I have 5, 4, and 7. For this 76.2, we're going to have a point here. I'm going to have a 2 and a 76. Now I'm going to have to add this. Now what am I going to do with this? I can just fill them with zeros. So 3 plus 0 plus 0 is 3. It's gonna be a 2. It's gonna be a 1. 9 plus 2 is 11. So I have a 1, and I'm gonna carry a 1. So now we'll have 1 plus 5 plus 6. It's gonna be 12, and I carry another 1. So 1 plus 4 plus 7 is going to be 12. So I carry another 1. So 1 and 7 makes 8. Therefore our final answer is 822 and 1123, then 100,000, 10,000. So 1123 10,000ths. That's our final answer. More addition. Well, let's align this up again. So 7.05 plus 8, 7, 3, and 2. And I'm gonna fill this bar with zeros. So we're adding. So 5 plus 8 is 5. 8, 14, carry a 1. 4 and a 2. Now if I went a little bit fast, please try to do on your own. This is part of adding decimals. By this moment you should be pretty good with them, but I'm just trying to show you how to approach these problems in case you don't remember. So you might want to go back and look over chapter 6. So our answer is this. Now it's time to do some subtractions. So the same idea, we need to align the decimal place. So it's going to be 50.19 and the other is going to be 4.8. And since I don't have anything, I can fill it with zeros here. Now let's subtract. 9 minus 0 is 9. 1 minus 8, I cannot do that. So I must ask somebody. I might ask the 0 to lend you 1, but wait, this is 0, doesn't have anything. So this can be, so this needs to ask a 5, so it becomes 4. This becomes 10 now. Now it has enough to borrow, it becomes 9 and becomes 11 here. So it's about the borrowing part. 11 minus 8 becomes 3. 9 minus 4 is 5, and this became a 5, so it's this became a 4, I'm sorry, so it's a 40. Our final answer is 45.39. Be aware of the borrowing part. More subtraction. But wait a minute, 500, what is the decimal place? The decimal place is here because it's 500 wholes. So let's align that. 500 point, and then the other point should be here, so it's 0, 8, 12. Subtract. Now what I'm going to do with this, fill this with zeros. Now I need to subtract. 0 minus 2, I cannot do that, so I must borrow as this 0, but this doesn't have anything, so doesn't have anything, so I go all the way to the 5, and this 5 is gonna become a 4, and this becomes 10, but since it's gonna borrow it to it, it's gonna become 9, and this will happen all the way along till this becomes 10. Okay, so 10 minus 2 is 8, 9 minus 1 is 8, 9 minus 8 is 1, same point, decimal place. 9 minus 0 is 9, and a 9 and a 4. So this is your final answer. So be careful here with the borrowing part. You have to go all the way to the 5 to borrow 1 here, which will become 10, and this borrow 1 becomes 9, and it keeps going on up to this becomes 10. Okay, be aware of that part. Now we have to multiply, and when we multiply decimals, just multiplying as they were regular numbers. Now when a number has a plenty of zeros, so I can use a shortcut, or it's just up to you, or you can just, since it's commutative, you can do 54,000 times will try to use a shortcut. So it's 0.13 times 54,000. So I have 0, 0, 0. 4 times 3 is 12. Carry what? A 1. So 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5. 4 times 0 is 0. Now we don't care about the decimal for now. So for the next part, I'm gonna have what? 5 times 3 is 15. Starting here though, be careful. Just be aware of that. So like here, you're starting here, so because this was part of the shortcut, the zeros. So you're basically multiplying 0.13 times 54. And remember, you leave in a space here or fill it out with a 0, however you like it. So I'll just put a 0 here, but you just however you like it. You put an X, you put a 0, or you leave it in blank. It's up to you. So 5 times 3 is what? 15. So that's why we put a 5 here, and we carry a 1. Now 5 times 1 is going to be 5, plus 1 is 6. 5 times 0 is 0. And let's add this up now. It becomes 0, 0, 0, 2, 10, carry a 1. I'm going to use a red color for this. So 1 plus 6 is 7, and then it becomes 0 here. Now we have to count how many decimals we have in total. In total we have 2 decimal places here, and this is 54,000, so it has 0 decimal places. So in total we have 2 decimal places. So that means we need to move this decimal place here 2 spaces, 1, 2. So if you do that, you're gonna end up having the point here 0, 2, 0, 7. Now what happened? Why don't I write 0? Because the 0 on the left side, the whole number, does not have a value. So why don't I write the zeros here? Because this 0.00 is like there's no decimals at all. So it's gonna be, so the answer is gonna be 7,020. More multiplication. So let's just multiply as they were regular numbers. So it's gonna be 2.36 times 1.7. So 7 times 6 is what's 42. I'm gonna try to go a little bit fast here because you're supposed to do this on your own, and I'm just showing what the steps are. 7 times 3 is 21, plus 4 is going to be 25. So 7 times 2 is 14, plus 2 is going to be 16. Now for the next one, any number times 1 is the same thing. So 1 times 6 is 6, times 3 is 3, times 2 is 2. Now we're gonna add them up. So it's gonna be 2, 11, carry a 1 here. 1 and 6 and 3 makes a 10, carry a 1. 1, 1 and 2 makes a 4. Now the final step is to count how many decimals do we have in total. Here's 1, 2, and here's 1 extra, so we have a total of 3 decimal places. So we're gonna move this 1, 2, 3. So therefore our answer is 4.012, or 4 wholes and 12 thousandths. So let's keep dividing. So now it's time to divide these numbers. There's a decimal involved, so well, let's try our division symbol here. 2.25 and divided by 2500. Now the steps are, well, here's the decimal place. The decimal place must be here, and here I have as many zeros as I need. As many as I need. Now let's go here. 2500 goes into 2 0 times, 22 0 times, 200 still 0 times, 2250, still 0 times. Now up to here, how many times will that go? Let's guess. 2500 times what? Let's just go for a big number. Let's see. Let's go for a 7. What would this end up being? 0, 0, 35. 7 times 2 is 14. Times 3 is 17. Will that go? Close to that, right? Close, because we're up to here, so no, maybe a little bit more than that. So 2500 times 9. Let's check that out. 0, 0, 45, 14, 22. Oh, perfect. That went evenly. So it's 9. 9 times that is 22500. Subtract 0 left. So we didn't need these zeros here. So there we go. That's your answer. 0.0009. Now that's one way of doing it, like the long division, right? How we do it in class. Now for those international students from Europe or South America or any other part of the world, what you divide on the right side, something similar to 2.25 divided by 2500. For you guys that have done it, if you have learned to divide like this, I would recommend you to stick to this way. However, it is a little bit complicated when we do decimals. Now, if you really master this division, I would recommend you to stick with it. Now, I will show you how to divide it this way. Now, for those who divide it in the American way, just stick to that method as well. So you might want to skip part of the video, because I'm going to spend probably 3 to 4 minutes explaining how to do this problem. So now let's divide it. So it's going to be 2.25 divided by 2500, and this is how we do it. So by this stage you master this, because we're in the finals. You passed chapter 6 and chapter 7. Let's divide this. The decimal point starts here. Alright, first you say that 2500 goes into 2, goes 0 times 0. Decimal starts, so you start putting your decimal here. Does this goes into 22 now? 0. This goes into 225, 0. And after decimal place, we know we have as many zeros as we wish. So does this goes into that now? No. And now another 0. 2500 goes into that. Let's see. Well, we done it before, so it goes 9 times. So it will be 9. And 9 times that is 22,500. You subtract. That's 0 evenly. So your quotient is here. Your answer. Now going back to division. Let's keep dividing. We have another problem of division, which is problem 28. They tell us to divide 75 divided by 0.025. So recall that the divisor cannot be this part here. The divisor cannot be a whole number. So we need to be aware of that. Now let's write it into form. So it will be 0.025 divided by 75. with a point here and as many zeros as I need. I can put here 3 or 4, as many as I need. Now, but this cannot be a decimal. So how many spaces do I need to move there to make a whole number? 1, 2, 3. So if I move 3 spaces here, I must move 3 spaces here from the decimal point. 1, 2, 3. So now let me rewrite this nicely. So I'm gonna have 25 divided by, or 25 divided into 75,000. And let's do this multiplication. Well, the decimal point is here, so most likely that the decimal point will be here. But let's find out. This probably goes evenly. Let's see. 25 goes into 0 times, right? 25 goes into 75 3 times, right? 3/4. Let's double check. 25 times 3 is 15. That becomes 75. Yeah, so it goes 3 times. 3 times 25 is 75. Subtract that 0. Now, well, if my denominator is 0 and I still have zeros here, we have to just put this up. And we didn't need to write any decimal places here because they're still being 0, 0, 0. So what's your final answer? Is my final answer 03,000? Point? Yes, that's my final answer. However, I don't need this 0 here. So the only answer is what? 3,000. Now, once again, I will do the other way for international students who divided on the right side. Okay? So for the international students, we will have a 75 divided by 0.025, but the divisor cannot be a decimal. So we must move this how many spaces? 1, 2, 3, and we must move this 1, 2, 3 and fill those with zeros. So we pretty much have 3 zeros that we need to fill with. So we're gonna have 75,000 divided by 25. Now let's do this. The 7 goes into 25, goes 0 times. The 6 goes in 75, goes into, right? 25 goes into 7 0 times. We got that. 25 goes into 75 3 times, right? 25 times 3 is 1575. Yeah, so it goes 3 times. 3 times 6 is 75. We subtract 0. Now this is one of the parts of what that might be a little bit tricky. So these are the payoff of dividing by that. So since the remainder is 0, what I do with these zeros here that I still have, I'll just have to shift it. 1, 2, 3. So I'll have to shift those zeros here. So my answer will be 3,000. So once again, we have to divide, and we need to be aware that this is a decimal, the divisor. So we must change that. Now let's do the American way once again. So it's gonna be 2.5 divided by, divided into 2.54. Now this cannot be decimal place. So how many spaces do I need to move to be whole? 1. So I'll move this 1. So I'm going to rewrite what I have there. It's going to be a 25 over 25.054. Now the decimal place is here, so I shift it there. Now 25 goes into 2 0 times. 25 goes into 25 once. So 1 times 25 is 25. Subtract that is 0. Now bring this 0 down. Now wait, 25 goes into 0 times. 0 times 25 is 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Bring this 5 down. 25 goes into 5 0 times 25 is 0. So 5 minus 0 is 5. Bring this 4 down. So 25 goes into there, what, twice? Yes, that goes twice. 2 times 25 is 50, and I'm left with 4. and I have here as many zeros as I need. So I'm gonna have 40, and 25 goes into 41s. 1 times 25 is 25. I'm running out of space, so I'm gonna shift this a little bit up. Okay, I shifted a little bit up, so it's gonna be 1 times 25 is 25. We got that. Now we're subtracting. We gotta borrow 1. This becomes a 3, and it's gonna be 10 minus 5 is 5. 3 minus 1 is 1. So this was 0 was with this. Now this 0 is gonna be all the way here. 150. Does that go evenly? I don't know. Let's double check that. 25 times 8. 8 times 25 is 40. This is gonna be 200. Too much. Let's go 2 more. So it's 30. 1250. Oh, that makes sense. So it's gonna be a 6. 6 times 25 is gonna be 150, and that went evenly. Therefore, our answer is 1.00216. Now I will do this for the international students once again. Okay, so you might just wanna forward the video 3 minutes or 4. So now let's divide this. Let's write into our form is 2.5054 divided by 2.5. However, this cannot be a decimal. So I'm going to move it 1 space, and I move this 1 space. So rewriting this, we'll have 25.054 divided by 25. Now we're good. Now we say this. Does 25 goes into 2? That goes 0 times. So 25 goes into 25. Yes, that goes once. 1 times 25 is 25. 25 minus 25 is 0. The decimal starts here, so I'm gonna start putting the decimal here. Bring this guy down, and you say, well, cannot do this, right? You probably say 0 does not go into 25. I need to bring the next number. So to bring the next number, I must put a 0 here, and this guy is going to go down. Now I need to bring the next number again, so I must put another 0, and that will allow me to bring this guy down. So 25 goes into 54 twice. 2 times 25 is 50. Subtract is 4. Now recall that you had as many zeros as you wanted here, so you're just adding a 0 here. So like bringing one of them down is going to be 0 here, but you have to recall bringing it down like 0. You're adding a 0, right? So now 40 goes once. 1 times 25 is 25. If we subtract that, it's going to give us 15, and then for 1 0 from there as well here. So now 25, 25 times 6. Let's try that out. 6 times 5 is 30. 6 times 2 is 12, plus 3 is 15. So it's gonna be 115. 150, sorry. So it goes 6. 6 goes times that, 150, and it went evenly. Therefore, our answer is 1.00216. So once again, I recommend to stick to the method that you've been working on through the whole semester, or a method that you've been working on through your whole life. If you've been doing the division like this, then stick to it. And now, if you're willing to learn the other way, try to practice more to learn the other way, the American way. Okay? I think that the American way will help you as well when you're gonna be doing long division in your future classes. So I would highly recommend you to stick to the American way. But if you only have to take Math E and really want to stick to this method, then go for it.